Time to take a chance to fly, feeling like I'm 10 feet high. Nightmares call, you can't deny. Better find a place to hide. Can't tell you what I know. No one wants to be alone. Like a virus in your soul. Don't give up and take time to take a chance to fly. Feeling like I'm 10 feet high. Nightmares call, you can't deny. Better find a place to hide.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hold on, before this goes to commercial. I knew that was going to commercial. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 502. We on that 502 flavor. My name is David Gokhshtein. This is powered by Gokhshtein Media, sponsored by Gemini. Shout out to Gemini. Sign up. The link is in The link is in the bio. And the link is also on the stream. So click it, $100 in Bitcoin after trading $1,000 in crypto. There you go. There you go. We will be talking about, obviously, we are what, 5 days away? 5 days away from picking the next president of the United States of America. Obviously, a very important subject for me. Should be a very important subject for you. That is right. Crypto is on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto is on the line. I don't understand the magnitude. This election means a lot for crypto. If you haven't voted yet, what are you waiting for? Go out and vote. If you got to wait until election date, go out and vote. You got to go and vote, period. And I encourage you, if you are a part of this audience, go vote for Trump. If you care about crypto, go vote for Trump. We had 4 years of Harris, and I don't think anybody liked it, especially if you were in crypto. Every single organization in crypto was attacked. So we need to go ahead and make sure we bring in somebody and an administration that is pro crypto. I'm not gonna yell a lot today. I'm not gonna yell. I was yelling a lot yesterday. But that was passion. Very passionate about the subject. You know, I don't understand how anybody could vote for Kamala Harris. I can't understand how you cannot take offense to Biden calling 85 plus Americans garbage. I don't understand how you guys can't take offense to that. Listen, people that are going to vote for Kamala Harris, they're going to vote for Kamala Harris, and they have no clue why they're voting for Kamala Harris, except for the fact that they are just voting based on their party affiliation. They're not actually voting for who's best for the country. They are voting for basically their party affiliation. That's it. That is it. I'm a Republican, but if there was a better candidate available, I'd vote for them. But the best candidate available is Trump. And I care about this industry, and I care about the economy, and I care about the United States of America. Mark Cuban, by the way, is awful. He is awful. And he got taken down yesterday badly by Bill O'Reilly. Let's hit that clip. I got to show that clip. That was horrible. He should never do that. Hold on. Let's go to Bill O'Reilly taking down. Where is this? Where's the takedown? Where's that? Hold on, let me find this real quick. Mark Cuban yesterday was exposed for knowing absolutely nothing about politics. Like, this guy knows absolutely nothing. Zero. Wow. His latest comments are horrific. All right. Let me just go ahead and share this screen here.
His tariffs. What worked with his tariffs? He had 4 years to make tariffs work with China. China kicked his ass. China took him to court, right? Because he didn't know how tariffs work, and it hurt the economy. The economy was rolling along, and it got so hit by the tariffs that his appointment to the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, had to come back in and cut interest rates 3 times. And then we get to the real point of reckoning, the pandemic. And what does he do? He says, if we don't test people, the viruses didn't really happen. He holds back on resources, except for Vladimir Putin, to keep people from getting healthy. That is not an accomplished president, Dana. He has not done anything. What he got, he inherited. You know what? His administration was the same as his personal wealth. He inherited it.
I got to jump in with course corrections here. Number one, the real wages, which is really the only economic barometer for the folks, was up 8.2% in the 4 years Trump was president. 8.2 across the board for working Americans. Fact. Under Biden-Harris, it is around 1%. No COVID pandemic. They have failed. Number two, inflation didn't start because Putin and the Arabs did anything. Inflation started, and I don't know whether you know this, Mr. Cuban, but Biden signed in his first week in office at least 20 executive orders, making it harder for every fuel company to harvest their product, whether it be fracking or oil or anything. The fuel company said, holy you know what, we're going to get hosed because our prices to get the stuff out of the ground are quadrupling, so we're going to do it retail now. That's what ignited it, not Putin and not Saudi Arabia. That is the truth.
Okay, number one, Mark Cuban, like I said, has no idea what he's talking about. Like, Mark Cuban has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. And honestly, where's this shit? Hold on. Honestly, Mark Cuban just reminds me of like okay, let me put it this way, right? Every man that is voting for Kamala Harris, this is what I imagine. This right here on the screen here, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I imagine them looking like. Like, this is it. This is every man that votes for Kamala Harris looks like this. Looks exactly like this. Shout outs to, I think who produced this picture. It was Elon Musk, AOC. Apparently I found out that this person produced this picture. That's exactly what every single male voter, like the white dudes for Kamala, like, that's what they look like. That is what they look like. They got no balls. Okay? They got absolutely no balls. See, look, this is what they think of MAGA. Here, I'm just showing you. Look at that comment by Unusual Doge. This is why MAGA is garbage. This is why that's what I'm talking about. All you did was say what the president felt that day. Can't believe they allowed President Biden to be in the White House by himself. They let him be in the White House. They let him be in the White House by himself. By himself. They left him a laptop connection and internet access. Okay? He went on and he told you exactly what he felt about 85 million Americans, that we are garbage. And also, again, I'm keeping it real. I don't think he likes Harris at all. And I think he definitely went on during her speech, midway through, to throw her under the bus, man. There is no way. Like, you know what? No matter what I read on social media, there is no way that Harris wins. There's just no way. Like, unless everybody has just lost their minds and they're in love with communism and socialism, I can't see it. And if I see any crypto people talking about I'm voting for Harris, I am blocking you. Period. To me, that means that you're not really interested in crypto. You're not interested in seeing it grow. I don't want nothing to do with you. But I am telling you right now, the average male voter looks exactly like the picture right now up on the screen. Yes, indeed. That is the average male voter that goes and votes for Kamala Harris because you got no balls. Anyway, got that out of my system, right? Woo! Got that out of my system. Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 502. Sponsored by Gemini, powered by G Media. And I got a really good guest here today. Probably one of my favorite guests that comes on every other week.
Hey!
Let's go!
How you been, David?
I love this. What's going on, Charles?
It's Halloween. You got to dress up. So I'm going as like the overweight, depressed Waldo, where everybody asks where's Waldo, but no one asks how's Waldo.
I saw a picture of you dressed up, and I thought it was AI.
No. They've already created a meme coin. It's Waldo on, and I think it's like $300,000 or something like that.
Oh my God! You can't do
created like an hour ago.
You can't. Hey, listen, it looks good. Where are you going to party? Around your area?
No, I don't party. I just sleep in my office on that couch and work until like 9 o'clock. Wake up, get to work by 7.
I expected that answer.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you. You listen. I don't know what you're doing. Like you're meeting every single notable person on the planet. So like, I'm
Just
sure you're.
right, so that was fun.
How was that?
He lives up to his reputation. They call it the motosierra. It's a chainsaw. But okay, literally, I was down there, and the day after I met him, he got rid of the Argentinian IRS, the AFIP. He just fired him, just like got rid of their IRS. Just like, who is this guy? It's gone. The next one is gone. It's like,
that's
awesome.
why won't I? This is why I want. Like one of the reasons why now, like I really want to see Trump win is I want to see Elon come in and do the same thing. Like I can see him doing that.
Yeah,
I can see him coming in. If he's giving him that power to, get rid of the overspending that has been done by the government, I am so down. I want to see this all happen.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and he's going to be the Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. That's his official title, I guess. But what's interesting is there's a guy who is the Doge of Argentina. His name is Federico Schwarzenegger. And he's like this Austrian Argentinian guy, and he's planning on getting rid of 3,400 laws and regulations next year in Argentina. They're just cutting everything and getting rid of all of it. And just the economy is improving, inflation's starting to come down, and the austerity is working, and people are very optimistic about the future. Milei is like a god. We walked in and gave that speech, and everyone's like, "Yeah!" They're all fired up. And I was surprised to see, because you read the New York Times and everything. They say, "Oh, well, he's wildly unpopular and everybody hates him." And then you go there, and they're like praying to him in the streets. It's absolutely amazing to see the level. They actually have hope for the first time in a long time. The media is just evil, man. They make everything so distorted, and they just push everything. They try, like the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden, MSNBC 24/7. They're running clips of like the Nazi Party meeting in the 1930s at Madison Square Garden and trying to create a connection between these two. It's like, really, that's where we're at in this whole life, and it's why.
So, and it's crazy because like they're playing this footage 85 years ago. The Nazis rallied, or the pro-Nazis rallied in Madison Square Garden. They held an event, and they're comparing it to the MAGA event.
Yes.
And I look, as much as if you don't like the movement, if you don't like Trump, that's fine. I get it. You can criticize all you want, but then when you take it to the next level of saying that he's the next Adolf Hitler, this is a pro-Nazi rally. This is crazy. Like you had every culture, every ethnicity speaking at this event, and you're saying the Nazis would never let up a single black person onto a stage, or anybody who wasn't a white supremacist. we at that rally, everybody was mixed. And the only thing, I don't know if you've heard what I've stated, was, look, I think Tony's funny. He's a funny comedian.
Uh-huh.
I just don't think that was the venue to go ahead and do it.
Right.
That's it. Especially that Kamala Harris, into that weekend, she was losing.
Right.
Like, it was really bad for her. Trump was gaining momentum, and then, like, obviously he hits with that Puerto Rican, it's the garbage floating in in the Atlantic Ocean comment and a joke, and it was just like, man, like, oh, like, like, people who can take a joke will understand it. People who can't, they're gonna run with it. And all the, like you just talked about, mainstream media, every single mainstream media channel and outlet, they were in tears. They couldn't even show the video. They were so upset.
So it's so harmful and offensive. We don't know what to do. But he punched back because Biden called him garbage for that. And then he dressed up as a garbage man over in Wisconsin. That's the counterpunch.
What do you think about that? What'd you think about him going into that garbage truck? I mean, Biden, I don't think Biden likes Harris. There's no way. There's no way that this was an accident. Like, at this point, I can't even blame it on accidental.
No, he hates her because he thinks he could still win, and that's what he and Obama were talking about at RFK's mom's funeral when they were having that little conversation. He's like, "I'm still stronger than her, and this is bad. I should have stayed in." And Obama's like, "Yeah, we'll fix it. We'll figure it out." And so you got Kamala President. Help me, Dominion. You're my only hope.
Do you think she wins?
No, I think Trump's got it unless it's fraud. The early voting data is catastrophic for the Democrats. That's why they're holding on to anything they can get their hands over. Because I mean, Republicans are going to vote in mass on election day, and if already you're staying even with Republicans and Democrats in early voting, it's going to be a fucking landslide. Trump's going to win by probably 4 or 5 points, is what I think. And remember, it's like, what are you voting for when you vote for Kamala? Like, orange man bad. What are you voting for Trump? RFK, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Trump, and 15 other people that have come together, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tucker Carlson. You got a movement that's there, and it's a very populist movement, and it's very passionate and very powerful, and they stand for stuff like, hey, let's not have double-digit inflation, and let's not like send hundreds of billions of dollars every year to foreign entanglements, and let's have freedom of speech and be able to say and think whatever we want, and let's not force vaccinate our children and these types of things. And then what do you get with Kamala? It's like, well, if you vote for those guys, Hitler will be in power. Okay, but what about all that other stuff they're talking about? Well, none of that's real. It didn't happen. You weren't force vaccinated. We didn't send hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. We didn't lose the Afghan conflict. We didn't do all this stuff. Oh, but it happened. It's like, oh, no. We're going to gaslight you. It didn't happen. These aren't the droids you're looking for. I mean, it's just, and then what policies do you stand for? We're gonna make America fair. It's like the last 12 or 16 years you guys have been in power. Okay, and you don't own any of it. It's always evil Republicans that cause all the problems. But for the last 12 to 16 years, you've been in power, and you've made everybody hate each other. You've made everything super left-leaning. You've taken all these Democrats like RFK and Elon Musk, and you've driven them into the Republican Party. Same for Tulsi Gabbard. And what the hell do you get out of it? And then apparently everybody's Hitler who disagrees with you. And we have to save democracy. We have to save democracy by voting for the people that were put into power through undemocratic processes. They should just rename the Democrat Party the Gaslight Party. Every single thing they think Trump's going to do, they're doing right now. They're the ones arresting their political opponents. They're the ones who just passed DOD 5240 that says the military can kill American citizens. And yes, actually, that is true, guys. It's a change of Title 10 and Title 50. The memo clearly states the use of lethal force. Read the fucking thing. Don't read MSNBC. Read the actual fucking memo. Okay, they wouldn't need to revise it if they were going to go under the old standard that was in like 2016. It's a complete friggin' violation of posse comitatus. So, they're the ones doing this. They're the projection party and the gaslight party, and all their fears are literally what they're doing with the power they have right now to their political opponents. You got Tim Walz saying we can't have free speech. It's too dangerous. We have to get rid of free speech. Free speech doesn't mean hate speech. Hate speech is anything we disagree with. So what's free speech then? Well, it's just anything we agree with. Oh, okay. Group think, party think. It's David. It's never been this bad. And for 12 years of madness, it started with Obama, and he created this culture and he integrated it. Trump tried to reverse some of it, but they dug in already, and then Biden doubled down on it. And Harris is going to be like the capstone of it. Every single thing in the Harris administration, if she wins, will be racial. Every single thing, every decision she makes. Should we go to war? Well, what does this mean for DEI? Should we fund this thing? What does this mean for DEI? The aliens have just landed. Well, what does this mean for diversity, equity, and inclusion? Every single thing is DEI, which is Americans are done with it. They're tired of it. The Puerto Rico thing is a great example. Oh my God, a comedian came to a rally and had a poor joke. You don't seem to mind, Democrats, when Kathy Griffin tweets Trump's head. You don't seem to fucking mind with that. It doesn't matter there. Threats of violence against the president, who's almost been assassinated now twice. Doesn't matter in your fucking mind. It doesn't, because you're just nothing but double standards. Okay, yeah, it was a poor taste joke from a comedian. Move on. It's a rally of 85,000 people. Is that really the thing you're going to focus on? That's the only thing you can talk about, because you can't talk about anything else. Because the real truth behind what you guys do is horrible. You treat everybody like you're a product of the government and you're owned by the government. And you turn everybody against each other, make everybody hate each other, hate the billionaires, hate this group of people, hate this group of people. And you're justifying your hate because reasons 400 years ago. And let's rewrite history again and again and again until it fits your fucking agenda. And I think Americans are just done with it. And that's why you see such a weird coalition behind Trump. I never in my life would I think Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Elon Musk, Bill Ackman, Peter Thiel, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, all these other guys would be freaking bedfellows and all in the same movement together. It's just nuts for this type of stuff.
I looked at that
because
the other day. I was like, if you don't like Trump, vote for them.
Yeah.
Like if you sit back and you're a reasonable person and you're like, I don't like Trump. Okay. Oh, well, here's my suggestion. Here's two. One, look who's backing him, because these people also weren't really warm and fuzzy with Trump, but they realized what was happening, so they joined together.
Right.
And then two, can we vote on policies? Because fine, you can find the man to be arrogant and all that stuff. That's fine. Egotistical, fine, whatever. The policies ultimately are what matter, right? You don't have to it's like a sports team, man. You might not like this coach, but if he's winning championships, fuck it. It's all good. And you know what? I don't know, like you just said, I don't know what I want to give Harris a chance, right? So I attempted to do something. I wanted to give Harris a chance. Every single time she's asked a question, I grew up in a middle-class family, Donald Trump. She asked you about the economy. I was watching this interview. All they did was ask. You can even see when Anderson Cooper is getting frustrated when he's asking questions, and this is your home team.
Yeah.
These are your home team players. CBS, ABC, CNN, they're all asking her questions. She
Why
can't
are you
answer.
such a Nazi, Dave? Why are you such a Nazi?
I am all of a sudden now. So if you support Trump, you're a Nazi.
Right.
Okay. You're a racist. You're a bigot. And Cuban just went on today onto a show and he said, women that support Trump, they're stupid and not that smart. I've never seen this in my life. Listen, I'm 43, almost 43 years old. I've never seen.
Yeah.
I've never seen them so open about it.
It's just these people have to be punished and they have to lose. They cannot get power again. You cannot reward the madness. You just can't. I'm sorry. America stands for stuff. We stand for freedom of association, commerce, and expression. We have a government that's so bureaucratic. There's so many regulations. There's so many laws. We punish anybody who tries to do anything. This government is weaponized against various industries. I mean, just Harris deserves to lose. Yeah. So they go after the cryptocurrency industry. RFK calls Harris before calling Trump and seeing if he can make a deal with her. They don't even take the phone call. I mean, how many of these fuck ups can you have before you deserve to lose? Even the Joe Rogan thing. Look at the daylight between Trump and Harris. So Harris says, I'm too busy. Rogan has to accommodate me. I'm only going to give him 1 hour. I need all the questions up front. I need the ability to pull the cord to stop the interview at any time. And we have edit discretion in the interview. That's what she wants. Trump says anywhere, anytime. So he goes to Austin, sits down for 3 hours, unfiltered, no questions up front, and Rogan asks him stuff. So America, that's your choice. Do you want leadership that actually answers questions, does interviews, talks to people, is willing to sit down, or do you want tightly curated leadership where their position is always lie up front? That no matter what it is, lie. That's the first step. It's always a lie. Okay, and you know the lies. If you're a liberal listening to this, you know the lies. For 3 years, we all told you Biden has dementia, and you just drank the Kool-Aid bullshit from CNN and MSNBC and all that. No, it's all made up. Biden is totally fine. He has no cognitive problems, until it became so impossible to hide that then you all just jumped on board the Harris train. And what happened there? A coup, an actual, for the first time in our lives. You're 43, I'm 36. The first time in our lives, a coup in the United States, when a group of people went to the president of the United States of America and said, we will remove you from power unless you abdicate and hand the election to someone else. And that's Tuesday. And you took it. You drank it from a fucking cup. And what was their threat? We know you have dementia. For 3 years, you were all lied to by your mainstream media that you guys love so much on the left wing about how Biden is all there. And then your own eyes, you knew deep in your heart he wasn't. You knew it. But you just drank the bullshit. And then you all accept the premise that Kamala Harris is the candidate. Why is she the candidate? Because Biden clearly has dementia. He just bit a baby. Okay? He just bit a baby. He's walking around with a dude in a bodysuit and he bit a baby. This we're at 81-year-old Biden biting babies. You know in your heart this guy is not there, but then you just accepted the lie, and you're being lied to every day. You're being lied to about the shit in your food. You know, before RFK was a thing, everybody said, hey, you know, all these refined foods, these refined sugars, these dyes, and all these other horrible things it's causing cancer. Now they're saying it's all great. Drink up, you know, get a gallon of high fructose corn syrup, just chug it. Yeah, that's okay. We're good. Why? Because it benefits some fucking companies. It's seed oils and all this other stuff. $212 billion industry.
Yeah.
And you know in your heart as a Democrat, this is wrong. You know you're being lied to. It's the same for the foreign entanglements. Weren't you the party of peace? Weren't you the fucking doves? Remember Dennis Kucinich and Mike Gravel and these other guys who want to start the Department of Peace? And now you're just like, we cannot wait to go give $200 billion to a fucking dictator in Ukraine. And he is a dictator. He suspended elections. By definition, he's a dictator. He has no democratic consent to run that country. We ran elections during World War II and during the Civil War. 1864, the head of the Union Army ran against Lincoln during the fucking Civil War. We still ran our elections. Zelensky says he can't run his elections. Sorry, we can't do that because he knows he'd lose. So the guy's a dictator. We're just shoveling money to him so that he'll have his stalemate and either be killed by his own people or flee to Geneva. And there'll be no accountability. And when tens of billions of dollars are missing, we'll say, well, that's just how things are. What about the victims in Hawaii, in Lahaina? Oh, no, we don't care about them. Here's your $750 check. What about the people we took care of in Hurricane Helena down in North Carolina? Well, those are Republicans, so let's not take care of them. When I sent my Black Hawk down there, I said, where's FEMA? Nowhere to be found. Even the uniformed military people say, you working with FEMA? No, FEMA's nowhere to be found. Then you go to MSNBC, and they're shoveling the bullshit again. That's why I sent my Black Hawk down, because I didn't know what was going on. So we sent it down there, and he had firsthand accounts from our own people on the ground with the people that FEMA abandoned the American people. They just abandoned the red people in North Carolina. Why? Because then they can't vote in a swing state. This is your government right now under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Whether you like to admit it or not, you are being lied to every single day. And yeah, you're right. Trump is not perfect. It's not Trump anymore. It's a unity party. It's Musk and Gabbard and RFK and hundreds of other fucking people now. And they've all just come together, unified under one message. Stop lying to us. Stop demeaning us. Stop calling us garbage. Stop attacking our intelligence. Stop to our face telling us things we all know aren't true. Stop it. That's all we ask. We can disagree on other things, and certainly there are many things, but on these basic things, stop doing this because we know you're doing it. And you're not stopping. You're accelerating it, and you're causing more and more problems. The voter ID is another thing. California passes a law saying you can't show your ID to vote. Common sense people, like what world do you live in? If you're a Democrat, why is this racist? Fucking tell me. You're okay with minorities going to the airport and having to show their driver's license for the TSA. You're okay with driver's licenses being required when the people go and buy drinks. You're okay when you go to the pharmacy to pick up drugs. That's okay. And pretty much everything else in life. And you say that they can do that and it's not discrimination then. But then when we want to do the most important thing in America, pick our leaders in a democracy, we can't do it. And then you change the topic and say, well, the elections are so secure, they're so secure. That's not the fucking question. The question is, should you show an ID to vote to prove you are who you say you are? It's just so simple. We have a Chinese immigrant, an illegal immigrant in Michigan who just got arrested for illegally voting. And the only reason we caught him was because he asked for his ballot back. And then he got arrested after this. And his vote still is counted. That's what the state of Michigan's saying. And just again, it's lies. It's lies and lies and lies. And you guys listening on the left, you got to snap out of this miasma. The orange man is not Hitler. He's not an intelligent man. He's not a particularly articulate man. He's just a man, okay? And he's surrounded by lots of people. And if you wanted a better man, you could have worked with us. You could have worked with society. But instead, what you've done is you've doubled down on madness, a miasma of insanity. And every day you wake up and you drink more of this Kool-Aid and you believe more and more shit that they're shoveling into your brain. And you just think it's okay. And you think it's okay. And then you ask, God, why are we so poor? Why is it so hard to buy stuff? Why is the rent going up? Why is the gasoline so expensive? Must be the evil billionaires. That's what it's got to be. Pick scapegoat 107. It's the government, you fucking people. It's the government. It's always been. It's like the astronaut meme. It's always been. They're the ones debasing your money. They're the ones regulating everybody out of existence. They're the ones pushing insanity. They're the ones driving businesses offshore. They're the ones going to war with all the innovators. They're the ones picking winners and losers. They're the ones spending all your money on their fucking cronies. That's what they're doing. Notice how the budget increases 7% per year. All we have to do is cut it by 5% per year. Within 10 years, we have a balanced budget. We have a surplus. They're telling everybody else, lay off your employees. They're telling everybody else, you all have to accept austerity and tighten your belts and live now like rats in apartment buildings stacked on top of each other with 10 roommates. But we, the government, we can increase our budget by 7% per year. We can have 16 intelligence agencies. We can have a federal agency for everything. We can worry about transgender gay fish. Okay, we can worry about this stuff and spend $1 million studying it in Montana. But you have to cut the budget. And then they say the reason why society is falling apart are those billionaires, you know, the ones who created Google and Microsoft and Amazon and Facebook. They're the evil people. I mean, never mind that they added trillions of dollars to the U.S. economy. Never mind that they created millions of jobs. Never mind that they created these innovative products that bring trillions of dollars into the United States. They're the evil people. And the virtuous people are the bureaucrats in the government who just stamp papers and tell you what you can't do every single day. Those are the virtuous people. And we can't dare cut them. But when we do in Argentina and their economy improves, we must now hate them. And when Elon does it with Twitter and he fires 90% of the staff and Twitter somehow is still running. By the way, XAI has a $40 billion valuation now. So X plus Twitter means he made a profit. All that data from X went over there, but he's a stupid businessman, right? He's the world's worst businessman. He stumbled incompetently into being the world's richest man. Just somehow. We don't know how. He just woke up one day and he is. Let's talk about his weird sex compound he's opening up in Texas. But not P. Diddy. You know, because he's on their side until he's not. These people are evil, man, and it would be a joke if they didn't have power, but they have power and they influence our lives. And we feel it in the crypto industry. I mean, Brian Armstrong the other day tweeting out all the contradictory statements of the SEC about Bitcoin and come in and register and all these other things and Ethereum. And it's just like it's as clear as mud. But you're the problem. You know, and don't worry, let's give the people that victimized us more power because they'll do better next time, Mark Cuban. Great. And at what point do we stop? Well, Orange Man bad. We just a democracy will come to an end if the Orange Man comes into power. No, it just get a lot of angry tweets. That's what's going to happen. Meanwhile, the Department of Government Efficiency will be turned on, and all you sons of bitches are going to lose your jobs, as it should be. And we'll have a balanced budget, and your money will get more valuable. And America will actually start embracing emerging industries and honor its entrepreneurs again, because we're a capitalist society, and things will get better. And then, you know, what will happen is they'll say that just can't happen. No, these people are evil. We're 5 minutes to Hitler. Sorry, Dave. Honestly,
No,
I ran.
no, I love this because, first of all, this is my platform has always been based on this. You know, unfiltered conversations, whether it's on the podcast or whether it's on this live show in the morning. Like, we need to be talking out honest truths out here. You know, like, and that's the problem. I'm watching mainstream media, and they're coming up with these. I don't even know who the hell's writing the script for them at this point. It's just horrific. And when Biden went ahead and made his statement about, you know, the 85 million plus people who support Trump being garbage, the next day the media's energy was, well, he misspoke. CNN said that he has a stuttering problem. The things that were being said to say, hey, but don't look at that because he said that. But let's go back and look at Trump going into the garbage truck and how he couldn't, his right leg was slipping, and they brought on a doctor to say that he might have been
77 years old.
Stroke here.
He's 77 years old, and he needs glasses. He doesn't wear them because presidential candidates don't. Your depth perception goes to hell. He misjudged the handle on the door. It happens to the best of us. When I don't wear my glasses, it happens to me.
But he sits down. But he's also sitting down all day. He's doing interviews all day.
Yeah.
I love this talk, Charles. He's tired. This man has more energy than the people in our own industry. He's all over the place. Every rally, every city. He's doing 3 to 4 cities. He's a rock star. He's doing 3 to 4 cities every single day. He's sitting down with podcasters for 3 hours. He's sitting down with people that don't like him. Here's the thing. You know what I like? You know what I like about Trump? I like that the fact that he'll sit down with somebody that does not like him. And he's doing that interview. Kamala, you got Rogan.
Yeah.
Millions of viewers. You're telling Rogan an hour, like you talked about today, an hour on my terms? No. And actually, here's a compliment to Kamala. I actually think she would have done good on Rogan's show.
Rogan would have made her look good. Rogan's a Democrat. You know, he's been pushed into the right, but he's for universal health care. He was in Hollywood. He's a comedian.
It would have been a layup. A layup for her.
But the problem is they don't want to leave anything to chance, because at the end of the day, what they believe and what they say are two completely different things. And when Biden says garbage, that's a rare window into what they actually think.
Correct.
Like Hillary Clinton with the deplorables, 47% of America are deplorables. You know, what they're saying is half of America is trash. That's what they're saying. And that's what they believe deep down inside. They hate half of America. And they say somehow we have to subjugate them and educate them and treat them like animals. They don't like this country. They really don't. You can't take people like Kamala Harris and put her at a bar in Wyoming, or put her at a bar in Cleveland, or put her at a bar in Montana, and have her have an actual human conversation about what she thinks and believes with those people there. Because at the end of the day, she's an elitist. Yeah. When they join this club, they think you're just better than everybody else, and they know more, and they're smarter, and everybody else is garbage. And every now and then they get caught on a hot mic vocalizing it. And people know this deep down inside. And if you're on the left, they sell this superiority to you. Trust the science. What is it saying? You're in the special group. You're enlightened. You know what's going on. So let me get this straight. When a person does a report on the effects of gender reassignment surgeries and chemical castration, and they get the wrong data and decide not to publish it because they disagree with the results of the sciences, that's a scientific process. New York Times just ran an interview on an article on that. So apparently it doesn't work as well as people said, but let's not trust the science there because, well, we just disagree with the science. It's scientism. It's not the scientific method, you know, and you divorce any alternative ideas that can exist. You divorce any alternative conversations that can exist. And then you basically just say, we're going to trust people with PhDs. We're going to trust people at elite institutions. this New York Times thing. They're going to run a hit piece this Sunday on pretty much every podcaster and every YouTuber in their conservative sphere, Tucker Carlson and Tim Pool
Yeah.
and all these other guys. Why are they doing that? It's not just a hit piece. By saying it's systemic misinformation, YouTube can now, because New York Times is a trusted source, deplatform these people. It's a 1-2 punch. One, to say it's misinformation. The second thing is to deplatform. So Tucker is going to wake up. He's no longer on YouTube. He's going to be treated like Alex Jones and all these other guys. So are you okay with people being deplatformed? Well, yeah, they have to be, because that's what the party says. We have to hate free speech now. They used to be the party of free speech and free expression. We have a right to protest. We have a right to express ourselves. Not anymore, because hate speech is not free speech. That's their slogan. And Tucker Carlson is the purveyor of misinformation and hate speech. And Tim Pool is the purveyor of misinformation and hate speech. And everybody fucking works for Russia. Dave, I guess you and me, we work for Russia.
Yeah, I get that a lot now. I work for Russia.
You work for Russia, right?
Yeah,
I
I'm a
work
Russian
for
spy.
you work for Russia. Who are these Russian guys? They're the best employer of all time. Everybody just works for them. Meanwhile, they're projecting, because the Democrat Party works for China. That's why Tim Walz is the fucking vice president. Why would you, as Kamala Harris, pick a blathering idiot, loudmouth, with no accomplishments in life, who's the governor of a state that when Ronald Reagan won in a landslide in 1984, he won 49 states. The only state he didn't win was Michigan. Why would you pick the guy there? That's not exactly the swing state you need to win over Shapiro in Pennsylvania or any of these other things that you absolutely have to win to carry the election. You pick that guy because he speaks Chinese. He's been to China like 80 times. He chose his college to be close to the Chinese consulate. There's a lot of questions about his military service and his relation to China, especially when materials went missing and China then replicated the nuclear artillery. There's an uncomfortable Chinese connection here with him. So, when you look at Sinohawk, when you look at Hunter Biden's relationship with China, when you look at the Democrat Party's relationship with China, when you look at Swalwell sleeping with Chinese spies, you look at Chinese spies being embedded in Barbara Boxer's office and Feinstein's office and all these other people, maybe, just maybe, there's something to it. So they're the projection party and the gaslight party. So when they say the Republicans are working for Russia, what they're really saying is, well, we're working for China. So we just assume because they don't want to burn Russia down with nuclear war, that they must obviously be working for Vladimir Putin and have a relationship with him.
It's amazing that Tim Walz is out here saying that we're all liars.
Yeah.
Orange Man is a liar. Meanwhile, this guy lies all the time.
Every day.
This is how they frame it. He misspoke.
Right.
Misspoke. I
He
misspoke. Misspoke 19
when
times.
he said he was in Hong Kong for the Tiananmen Square incident, he was just there in spirit. That's what he had. It's like, I think that's a pretty clear cut thing. Either you were in Hong Kong or not, but I guess he misspoke about
It's what did you think about Obama scolding black African American men about not voting for Kamala Harris? What did you think about that?
Yeah, just another thing, like, vote your race, not your politics. That's what the Democrats basically say. It's like, you're all in a group, and these other guys, they hate you, and their whole goal in life is to imprison you and put you in plantations and all this stuff. So, but we're the people that will liberate you. Don't worry. And you have to all fall in line. And if you violate that, you're an Uncle Tom. I mean, that's just they've been doing this for a long, long time as a political party, and it's deeply offensive. You hear guys like Thomas Sowell and others talk about it and how horrible it is. You look at how they treated Herman Cain. You look at how they treated Ben Carson. You look at how they treat all these people. Ben is probably the most egregious. You have a guy who's a pediatric neurosurgeon. He's hailed as a hero. They made a movie about him called Gifted Hands with Cuba Gooding Jr. And every mother's like, man, I want my son to grow up that way. In abject poverty, goes to Yale, becomes a brilliant neurosurgeon at Johns Hopkins, the top place in the world. It does the most daring and invasive surgeries possible, like operating on kids before they're even born. That's crazy. But then he becomes a Republican, and he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's brutally attacked. He's anti-black. He's a betrayer of the black community. I mean, that's just the playbook, and that's what they do. And I don't know why they get away with it. I really don't. I'm not a member of this community, but if I was, I'd say this is the most offensive thing in the world. You've stripped my humanity away. You said the only thing that matters is the color of my skin. And I have to fall in line with you guys because you're saying the other people, the only way we interact is that they hate the color of my skin. Well, what about all the stuff I've accomplished in life? Well, if you go to the other side, you're just a traitor and you're an Uncle Tom and you're an evil person. That's literally what they project 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can't find a single person who's a conservative African American who isn't attacked this way. And it's vicious.
You would
And
think
by the
it's
way, it's not even black people attacking, it's white
What-
liberals.
wouldn't you think it's MAGA the way they paint, Republicans? Wouldn't you
Yeah.
think it's MAGA doing this? No, it's actually the Democratic Party that's telling you and divide. That's literally dividing us.
Right.
That kind of rhetoric is dividing the country because most of us, like I've already stated this, and people know my background. I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood. Like we didn't talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna hang out with you because no, it's just like no, we hung out with each other.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
saying we didn't.
friends.
I think the worst statement anybody ever makes is I don't see color. No, we see color, but that doesn't mean anything. Like we hung out with each other, we had fun with each other. The
Yeah.
greatest part about living in a multicultural area is that you get to experience all cultures and their holidays and like
Right.
all these festivities. Like it's great. So when you have somebody like Obama say that, you're dividing the country.
Yeah, of course. And that he doesn't care. He's never going to be held accountable for the enormous division that he's encumbered upon this nation. He's a hero, and he's helping us finally come to terms with our evil, super racist past. And it's just okay. So everybody just hates each other 24 hours a day. There's no remedy here. There's no let's stop and let's just forgive each other and move on. No, everything is always racist. And so it's a vacuous term when they do these things. And it's a weapon that they use against people, and everybody becomes a racist. Trump is a racist. Waltz is a racist. JD Vance is a racist. All these types of people, and the most racist people are a lot of the people in the Democrat Party because they judge people solely based upon the color of their skin.
Correct.
They make assumptions about their lived experiences. They make assumptions about their intelligence. I mean, even the voter ID thing, that's the most racist thing I've ever seen in my life. They're saying, well, if you're an African American, you can't get an ID. You're just too stupid and incapable to get an ID. That's what they're literally saying when you strip their arguments back. Imagine how remarkably dehumanizing that is as a thing. It's like, okay, well, what if that person's a doctor? Well, that doesn't matter. He's a member of that group, and the group is always more important than whatever accomplishments that person has, and they get away with it because the media lets them get away with it because it's profitable. It's very profitable for people to hate each other and for people to be broken into groups. And I'm just done with it as an American. I'm so tired. I'm so fatigued. I just don't care anymore. And yeah, there will be consequences for these types of talks. Every person who speaks out against this gets punished.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That you people on Team Blue never acknowledge it, but it happens. People get deplatformed. People get their reputation destroyed. Commercial relationships get clipped. People lose economic opportunities. And actually, there's now proposals for people to be imprisoned. The criminalization of speech has already occurred in the UK. It will occur here in the United States if these people have power long enough. And anybody who speaks out against what's going on and speaks about the good old days where we actually just simply had freedom to think and express ourselves, well, those people are evil and they have to be punished and gulagged and silenced. So it's a very pivotal election, and it's one that the time has come and we're done, and we're just going to find out what happens. I think Trump will win because I think there's still enough Americans who would like to go back to like the pre-Obama days when we didn't live in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of stepping on eggshells and everybody hates each other and 100% of the news is negative all the time, and everything is just horrible, and being an American, you have to apologize every 15 minutes for it. It'd be nice to go back to a time where we say, hey, we're the good guys. We've done some stuff. We invented the internet. We went to the moon. We liberated the world from communism. If we weren't around, communism would run the entire world, and they killed 300 million people. If they ran the entire world, probably be more like 1 billion. And that was just in the 20th century. So maybe America did some good things, and maybe we should love our country for those good things that we did, instead of every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, hate our country, hate everything about it, apologize. But maybe there's now so many Americans that are on the other side that that's what they want. But I don't understand how you achieve greatness then. How do you get anywhere in life if it's never your fault? and there's no self-reflection and self-growth. It's so hard to hire Gen Z people. You hire any Gen Z person these days, you know what happens? The minute that you have to fire them, they burn you in every way possible. They go to Glassdoor and they threaten lawsuits. They file complaints with labor boards, all these types of things. And what do you fire them for? Well, we hired you for 6 months and you didn't show up for work for 2 of the 6 months. And then your performance reviews were consistently terrible. And then you filed 4 HR complaints against all the line managers for calling you out for not doing your job. And then you go to the next thing and you badmouth how bad your employer was. That's Gen Z in a nutshell right now. And I don't blame them. They were trained to do this by the education system, K through 12. They said, everybody's special. It's never your fault. And you never have to work hard. And the government will take care of you from cradle to grave. And also they're completely disillusioned and disenfranchised because they also know that the economic system is a Ponzi scheme. Gen Z is one of the smartest generations. For as many of these flaws that occur, they're smart enough to know that the money's becoming worthless. That's why they're all checked out. So they're just like the doomer meme, smoking the cigarette with the little beanie on and playing video games all day. Because you think to yourself, what's the point of saving? You work hard every day, you save up a few $1 million and retire on it. And then inflation eats away at all your savings in 10 years. What is $1 million anymore? It used to be a huge sum of money. And now it's like 1/3 the price of a decent home in San Francisco. That's what $1 million is these days. Remember when we were kids, $1 million, like that was a big fucking deal. So what do you tell these kids? Become a homeowner? They can never buy a home. Save money? Saving doesn't work. Participate in the stock market? Well, they hate all the corporations. So what, buy the stock of these evil corporations running lithium mines with children abroad? It's like, no, I can't buy that. So you can't save, you can't invest, you never have anything to save and invest. You'd have no work ethic because you're just disengaged and checked out and you're told never to grow or reflect on life. So you're unhireable. So you just live at home, smoke pot, play video games. That's what this generation does. And then they listen to Kamala and she's like, that's not your fault. I will get you because the only reason your life sucks is the millionaires and billionaires. Over there, Mark Zuckerberg, he destroyed your life. That's why he's the guy. Okay, you didn't really work hard. You didn't study. You dropped out of everything you ever did. But okay, they'll solve that for you.
Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 502, sponsored by Gemini, powered by G Media. Joined here by Charles. Every other week, every Thursday, we go ahead and talk about politics. Obviously, politics is big right now. I don't know, like people like David talk crypto. I'm like, I would love to talk crypto, but you know what? Crypto's kind of like connected with politics here, man. It is a good topic to talk about. This is, every election people say this is the biggest election of our lifetime. No. This one I actually feel is the biggest election of our lifetime because the choice that we make on November 5th for the next 4 years, you're going to have to live with. And I'm talking about if we vote in Kamala Harris along with Tim Walz and that entire administration, I believe in my heart, you guys will experience, or we will all experience, what it's like to live in an Eastern European country. Okay? That's what I feel. I feel like they're going to do something with the First Amendment. They're going to try to change things up. And you know what? It's time for us to wake up. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, Libertarian, Independent. It doesn't matter. Okay? I don't care if you don't like Trump. I'm going to repeat this again. Look at who he's brought. Look at who he's brought together. These are a bunch, to me, they are very intelligent people. And I feel we bring them in, the party of unity, the real unity party. Right. They come in, they'll fix it up. And in the next 4 years, figure out who you want. You know what? I didn't like J.D. Vance because I didn't know him. And then I'm listening to this guy. He is smart as hell. He's quick on his toes. He goes on to shows. You know what I like? This appeals to me maybe. When you go onto a network that doesn't favor you and you sit down and he is able to not get out of his skin and still articulate himself and make points, that to me, it wins me over. Yeah. It wins me over. What I wanted to ask you about, okay, now that people are actually filming, thank God people are filming in PA. They are filming how the early voters were standing in line and it was being shut down at 1:30. when it was supposed to be shut down at 4:30.
And
So
they
at
threatened to
1:30,
arrest the people filming and saying they were election interference. You see
correct.
the gaslighting?
They are so scared because Republicans, I feel like this is the first time Republicans are actually coming out to early vote, because they usually wait until obviously November 5th to go ahead and vote. Now they're all coming out. Everybody's coming out to vote early. And Governor Shapiro comes out and says none of that's happening. Meanwhile,
You
it
got
is
the tape.
happening.
You got the tape.
There's tape. And then Michigan comes out. I got my videos taken down, by the way, Charles. 2 videos taken down. The videos were coming right from the Office of Voting in Michigan, saying that the voting system has a bug in it. So you have to be very careful when you're voting. I put that up. It gets taken down as election interference. Okay. Yet this is being said. And then Laura, thank God for Laura Trump. She finds, or it was found that the same person voted, like, what was it, 29 times?
Yeah.
And
That's
you're
okay
saying
as long as it's for Kamala.
there's no election fraud happening? Like, I'm confused. Only if the Democrats said this, it would play out.
Yeah. Well,
Only if the
remember, if Trump
Democrats said
wins,
this.
every single Democrat's going to be an election denier. That's the great irony of all this. November 6th, after Trump wins, all these Democrats are going to come out and say, they're going to say, the election was rigged. Trump cheated. He manipulated the election. We can't trust the results. And they're going to mass protests and things like that.
You know what they're using now? They're using, he set up the Supreme Court in order to be able to do this right now, to make sure that non-citizens can get 6,000 non-citizens that were in Virginia, a law that was passed by Kane, a running mate for Hillary in 2016, a law that was introduced by him and passed to make sure that non-citizens are on the voter roll, on the vote roller. Literally, they're trying to deny it, and then it was finally overturned, so he can, like, the governor of Virginia finally could take off 6,000 non-voting citizens. I don't understand. Like, seriously, I'm coming out my skin right now.
Yeah, I know. They fight so hard to have people who aren't from this country vote. And it kills me, Dave, because I build voting systems for a living. This is one of the things I do. We build currencies, we build voting systems, we build identity systems. I know how to make a secure election system. I've even had debates with Ron Revest about this, fucking Turing Award winner from MIT, about how to use blockchain or a hybrid system if one desires, where you have both paper and digital, to create an ultra secure election system. We know how to do it. We've known how to do it for a long time.
Why don't we do it? Why don't we do it?
Because they want the ambiguity. They want the ability to cheat around the barriers. And it's really not about millions of votes. It's 10,000 here, it's 15,000 there. And they're trying as hard as they can to do it. And then if they win, it's the most secure election of our lifetime. If they lose, it's Bush v. Gore. Remember 2000?
Yeah.
Al Gore introduced himself as, I used to be the next president of the United States. And you had Joe Biden saying, I still think Gore won that election. These things. It's okay when they say the election's not okay. Stacey Abrams in Georgia, another great example of that. It's always election fraud, disenfranchisement, racism, this type of thing. Like, some group of people are going around, they say, well, if you're voting for a Democrat, you can't vote. We're going to beat you up with baseball bats. That's what they say. And then when you catch them, when they cheat on the other side, well, that's an isolated incident. We've never seen it like that before. We will do better. And also, why aren't these systems open source? Why don't we have open source voting machines? Why can't I audit the code? I'd pay for an audit. I'd sit down and spend millions of dollars of my own money going through all the source code and checking every little thing, and then making sure there's a hardware level audit as well. Why can't we pen test them? Why don't we offer a $10 million reward if a person can break into a voting machine remotely and change the results of it? Wouldn't that prove election integrity? These types of things. Isn't the most fundamental thing in America trusting that the voice that you have is going to be appropriately recorded? But none of that matters to these people, as long as they have power at any cost, win at any cost. That's who these people are at their core. It's okay to lie. It's okay to cheat. It's okay to steal. It's okay to manipulate. It's okay to use misinformation. It's okay to harm people. You can punch a Nazi. Remember that? Yeah. It's okay to harm people as long as their political agenda gets pushed through. Reminds you of anything? Yeah, communism. It was the same there. Power at any cost. The ends justify the means. A violent revolution is necessary to achieve the utopia of the future. These people believe this in their soul, deep down inside, and it's so foundationally un-American in every way, shape, and form. It really is. And I'd love to fix it. I really would. I'd love to go state by state to do it. But here's the fucked up thing: we'll only get like 30 states,
Yeah.
the red ones,
Yeah.
and the blue ones won't do it. And their people will continue to drink the bullshit from the ponds. And I don't know, David, how to stop them from doing that. I just don't know. I don't know why they believe these things. I've tried to engage with them and talk with them and really get into their mindset and ask them basic questions like the voter ID question, or basic questions about improving the election integrity, or basic question about sound money. And they just can't get there. They're so encumbered with propaganda deep into their souls. There's just nothing there. And yeah, there are plenty of problems on the Republican side. They believe a lot of propaganda too, but it's a different kind of propaganda, and it's a different denial of reality than the denial of reality that's occurring in the zeitgeist that has infiltrated the modern day left, and is so far away from the classical left, the Noam Chomsky's left, and the Ted Kennedy's left, and the left that has been around since the '60s. It's a very, very different world for these people.
What would you what would you what would you implement as a good voting system for the president of the United States of America? So I'm thinking, to me, I would love to see real American citizens show their IDs, legitimate IDs, and just have a one day election. Everybody gets off on November 5th. Nobody
Right.
goes to work, and everybody goes to the nearest ballot box, and you go ahead and submit your vote. Real
Well,
IDs out and everything.
Yeah, the first thing you need to do is you need to fix the identity system because it's terribly broken. By the way, you can give driver's licenses to illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
We do it in Colorado, so that's not necessarily a secure way of doing things. So first, you need DIDs and self-sovereign identity, and so that's why when states come to me and they say, "Hey, can we do a voting system with a blockchain?" I say, "Well, unless you're willing to talk about your state ID system, I'm not even willing to entertain the blockchain voting system because I'm just making a fraudulent system secure." So
Exactly.
it'll very securely count fake votes. That doesn't do anything for you. So first you need a proper ID system. And then once you have a proper ID system, then a two-part registration makes the most sense. So you have places you can go, you show your ID, and they give you a paper certificate that you keep with you. It creates two of them, one for you, one for the accounting system. And then you use that to basically register on a digital device. And you use blockchain-based voting on your phones, and there's various supported phones for these types of things. And that ends up being a very secure way of doing things because you have a paper system auditing a digital system, and the counts have to balance. But you can do real-time continuous auditing of these systems. We have blockchain-based voting. You can use zero-knowledge proofs to effectively
Yeah.
vote. So you can prove that that your vote has been counted, that no more votes than the amount of registered people have been counted. So you can prove the integrity of the system, and you can personally check your vote. And you can see that you voted, it was counted the way that you thought it was counted. And you allow a 2-week voting period so that you can just go through because, people have things to do. And even if they can take the day off, what if they have a medical emergency or their kids are doing something? So you just let people do that. And it's maximally inclusive because everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got digital devices. And all the software is open source. So, and then you create strong bounties for hacking it, and you do pen testing, and you check all these different things, and then basically you create a model, and every state builds a house on top of that framework. So Colorado would have one, and Wyoming would have one, and you have slightly different implementations for these things, and so one catastrophic flaw wouldn't cascade through the whole system. That's kind of a skeleton of how you would go about it. And then what's nice about, and here's another reason why they don't want to change the voting system, because the minute you do that, you start asking, well, why don't I have preference ordering instead of plurality? So why don't I have like ranked choice where I can say Alice and Bob and Jim and Jane instead of just Bush versus Clinton or
Yeah.
something like that? Why don't I have something different here? And the minute you do that, third parties start winning because there's no concept of throwing your vote away anymore. So it's really dangerous to digitize the ballot architecture because both ballot access gets cheap, and also you can have different voting systems like quadratic voting or preference ordering or other things that come in. So that's my life goal is, let's change that part of it. And then we get third parties, we get coalitions, and we don't have this Democrat versus Republican miasma anymore. And we start getting back to policies and caring about policies and caring about what's going on, as opposed to just the politics of personal destruction. So something will break at some point. If Harris wins, I think we're headed towards some form of national divorce or civil war, because Trump is not going to accept the election results one way or the other, and I don't think he has a reason to even do so, because the momentum is on his side. He has every advantage on his side, and there's no reason for Harris to win this election. She doesn't deserve it. She hasn't done what's necessary to deserve it, and the hatred of Trump can't be that strong. It really can't be.
You think he wins this? He should be. Do you think he should be winning this easily?
Yeah. The only reason he's not is 84% of all media coverage of Trump is negative. 71% of all media coverage of Kamala Harris is positive. Mario just posted that the other day, and I believe it. Every time you turn on the television, it's look at the Orange Hitler every day. That's what it is. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Orange Hitler, Orange Hitler, Orange Hitler. He's evil. He's evil. He'll destroy you, kill you, take your rights away. If you're pregnant, he'll lock you in a basement for 9 months and force you to carry that baby. It's like he'll find you. And it's like he's like the boogeyman, right? You're gonna open your closet, your 12-year-old girl, and you see the Trump guy come out. He's like, I gotcha. And it's literally the coverage of him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you're a low information, low participation voter, he's, oh my God, this guy's literally Hitler. That's why when Rogan came out, they were so scared, because they said, oh my God, you can't humanize Hitler. You can't allow the Orange Hitler to go on Rogan and have a 3-hour conversation. What if people see that and think he's like a normal person?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing in the world. We got to deplatform Joe Rogan. We got to shut him down. We cannot allow him to normalize. That's the word they use. Normalize Donald Trump. We just can't allow that to happen.
And they took him off of YouTube. Like
Yeah.
that episode, they you couldn't find it on YouTube. Elon apparently called up Spotify to make sure that Spotify is playing the entire interview. The CEO said no problem, put it back. He made sure that it's playing live so people can go ahead and find it. It's really weird. If you look up on Google, anytime you type up and this is not bullshit, you guys can do it at home right now. If you put in Trump, Kamala Harris is the first thing that comes up on a Trump search.
I'm checking this out right now.
Go ahead, do it. I'm telling you, it says it on the top. I did it yesterday. First thing that came out was Kamala Harris right on top, where she's campaigning and where she's going. And then everything else was like one or two. Trump, Kamala. It's bad. It is bad. And I also looked at a lot of things also where most teachers and professors are Democrats.
Right.
That's a horrific stat, because what do you think they're teaching? They're advocates. They're not even teachers. They're advocates for the Democratic Party, to make sure that you vote Democrat when it's time to go ahead and vote the next president in. Did it come up for you or no?
It came up as Trump when I searched Trump. Yeah, let's see if I can share my screen. Let me see here. Can you see my screen?
Let me plug you in. Let me share this.
Trump.
Let me do mine.
Let's try Donald Trump. Just check. Yeah, it's coming up Trump.
Now it's coming up Trump. Yesterday it wasn't coming up like this.
But I'm in Colorado, and the IP address is there. You're in New York, and so maybe they're having Kamala come up. Who knows?
Hold on, yours just came on the Donald Trump. What did it come up? Well, you get the Wikipedia automatically, right?
Yeah.
But then when I look at the news cycle, Harris and Trump's final campaign sprint. It shows Harry here. Look, let me share the screen. It's like here. Can you see this or no?
Yes.
So like Harris, like yesterday when you look it up, it was just like 100% Harris dominating Trump's page. But now, like I'm looking at it more so, like whose picture is up there, like more than Trump's? It's Harris. When you look through the entire thing, even if it says Trump. So I don't know if Google's messing around or not. But yesterday, I should have took a video screenshot. You know who I think did? I think Colin Rugg did that. He also took a whole screenshot of exactly what they're reporting on. And I think Mario did as well when you Googled it in. Maybe like somebody just said to me, go in. Hold on, let me see if I go do this differently. Give me a second. Because that's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder if they got enough people to. Let's try that. All right, let's do. Yeah, that's funny. It comes up. Here you go, Donald Trump. I'm telling you, there. Yeah, whoever said that just now on the channel, congratulations. You win a cookie. If you go private, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Oh my god, I can't find the other device. Hold on. You type really fast. Hold. I am not that fast of a typer. Hold on. Let's see if this is it. No. Is that it? Is that it? Do you see that?
Let me see. Yeah. The memo: Trump garbage trip seems to. But all the news is always negative. When you search for Trump, 100% of the news results are negative because remember, everybody
why
is
is it
writing
different on when you go private versus like when you're public? Like it's night and day. Like I just showed you, like this is, and you're right. And the news about Trump is negative. The video of Donald Trump struggling to get into the garbage truck is going viral. Like they're not putting anything out there that's positive about Trump. Now that I've seen the adjusted version of what Google has done. So obviously biggest donors coming out of Google for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
By the way, before you go, because I didn't get to touch on this at all, and that's because I love the way you started to rant about everything.
Well, this is the last political rant because next week it's over. The campaign's
And we're
over.
back to crypto.
We're going to go back crypto. We're not going to talk about politics anymore. We're going to live in the MAGA world. America is going to be on the Unity Party, and we have no problems anymore. So
I hope there's no civil war. I hope there's none of that. I hope there's no riot. Just hey, listen, we all have to take whatever result it is, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I'm preaching to you guys.
I mean,
whatever it is, it is. I mean, at this point,
deal with it.
If you don't like it, move out the country. That's my only suggestion to you. Oh my God, I just forgot my question. Oh no, Ripple.
Yes.
Last one, Ripple. What do you think about Chris Larson advocating for Kamala Harris? I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to make sense of. They went after you for 4 years. I'm trying. How and why?
He's a Democrat, and no matter how many times they abuse him and what they do to him, and how horrible the Gensler has been to XRP in particular, I guess just give lots of money to Kamala Harris and hope it goes away. Maybe it's a whole mafia thing, like you pay off the mafia don and the mafia leaves you alone, so it's protection money, and he's thinking it this way. Or maybe it's Stockholm syndrome, or maybe he's just really into bondage and he likes it when people burn him with cigarettes and things like that. I don't know. I can't answer these Chris Larson related questions. I really can't. But he's off his fucking rocker.
The reason I posted is because you're one of the. By the way, guys, top OGs to ever bless this space. Charles has done absolutely everything that you can think of in this space. And here, like if you, Charles, honestly, I would never talk to you again. If I saw you donate to Kamala Harris after everything that has happened in the crypto space, I couldn't see. Well, I would bring you on, but I would try to understand what the fuck are you doing? You're way
I have
too
a brain
intelligent.
tumor. That would be like that would be the brain tumor test right there. You'd know that it's pod person Charles. It's not real Charles. Like Charles got replaced with somebody else. Uh, there's no reason a cryptocurrency person should give money to the Democrats until they apologize and create a clear agenda for what they're going to do. We gave them the benefit of the doubt. I actually sent people to the DNC when Kamala got nominated. And we tried really hard to engage and say, look, it's a blank slate.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow the Biden policy. If you really want to be different than Biden, why don't you actually have a sensible cryptocurrency policy? And nothing came from her outside of we love Gary and he's done a great job, and we love Elizabeth Warren, she's done a great job. So and they keep saying, well, Mark Cuban comes up, oh well, she'll be different on crypto. Great. So just give me a few policies. You support Fit 21? Why or why not? What is her legislation? Can she at least give us an inkling? Is the XRP case okay? Did Fgate happen? Is Ethereum a security or not? What should be a security? And this dude right here tells me it's going to be different, but she can't tell us because, like Nancy Pelosi, you have to vote for it to find out what's in it. And similarly, like Kamala Harris, you just got to vote for her to figure out what her policies are. She has the conception of a policy, not a real policy.
Mark
So
Cuban is such a flip flopper. He was like,
he just wants power.
they asked him, "Would you work with Trump if he offered?" He goes, "Yeah, America first." I'm like, "Hold on, aren't you with Kamala Harris?" You're saying, "Yeah, I'd work with Trump." Um, I'm excited to see what happens to Cardano. I was going to probably I'll next. Hopefully, we can now, next week or in the next 2 weeks, we can go into crypto again. Hopefully, everything is okay here in the United States of America. Because I want to ask you about obviously Cardano. I also wanted to ask you the same question. I had Justin Sun on here, and Justin Sun said, "You know what? I have Tron, and I know that memes will make Tron big within this ecosystem." And I wanted to ask you, even though you've designed Cardano, you and obviously all the other smart individuals that you've invited to participate in Cardano's ecosystem, you've built out more stuff that actually I believe if people dived into Cardano and actually took a few days to learn it, not a few days, actually take a few weeks because it's not a few days to actually learn the ecosystem, you would see that it should, it's more than just the terminology of just calling something a blockchain.
Right.
So do you see? I guess I can ask you this before you go. Do you see, or would you like to see more meme assets participating on Cardano?
I mean, you've always known my position on this. I don't take a negative view, but I don't take a positive view. Just like Waldo token today, it came out and only idiots would buy it. It's like
Yeah.
30% of the LP pool is unburned, and so these guys are going to just get hammered by a single person dumping on them. I mean, there's an absurdity to meme coins, and the reason why meme coins are surging right now is because we're in a bear market and people are bored, and it's about the only thing you can trade right now that has any play. And the big guys are just waiting for this insanity to end with the U.S. government's war on crypto. When it ends, if Trump wins, then we'll be back in the bull market. Nobody will remember the meme coins because we'll actually be back to the real stuff during the bull market, and that's where all the alpha is going to come from. So I don't really care. I mean, I'm a libertarian at heart. If people want to play with these things and deal with these things, that's their prerogative and choice. It shouldn't be my place to judge them or scorn them. I, in the past, got really upset about Doge and all these other things. And I thought people were going to lose all this money. And you know what? The market just does what the market does. And I had to learn that lesson the hard way. And so I'm a live and let live type of guy. You do your thing. If you like meme coins and you want to trade and be a degen, then you go degen your heart out. It's very important that you go and do that. And actually, speaking of live and let live, next week I'll be off for 5 days. So you guys won't see me on Twitter at all. Going to a meditation retreat up in West Coast. And there I'm going to be doing an EEG assisted meditation. So I'm going to be sitting in these meditation pods for 10 hours a day, my whole brain wired up with all these cords and things like that, getting to like the deepest states of meditation humanly possible. So I'll come back all zen. So our next interview, I'll be very mercurial probably and non-committal. And I'll say like, how does that make you feel, David? these types of things. So we'll figure out if my 40 years of Zen will save me.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the brightest people in this ecosystem, and even outside of it, Charles, I appreciate you coming on every other week to go ahead and just chop it up.
Thank you so much, David. It's been a lot of fun.
Where's Waldo? That's Charles, not Waldo.
Always here in your heart.
Waldo.
Cheers.
Cheers. That is Charles from Cardano, everybody. Welcome to the breakdown. I want to acknowledge everybody for tuning in from YouTube, LinkedIn, Rumble, X platform. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. I said what I meant just now. I meant what I said, and that is, I hope that after the election is done, November 5th, whoever's elected is elected. I hope the right person is elected. Let's put it that way. I hope the right person is elected. And I don't wish or hope that a civil war breaks out. That's totally not what I'm about. I'm anti-war. Definitely anti-violence. Violence, all that war shit, that should be the last resort, man. But I really do feel like the men in this country, not the women, because the women are smart. We got some smart women in this country. The men in this country, we're a little bit lazy, okay? Don't be lazy. Do not be lazy this time around. Just for once, pick yourself up and go vote. Especially if you're in crypto, go vote for Trump. You know what you got to do. Just go vote. It'll take literally 20 minutes. Go with your ID and vote for Trump. That's it. If you want to see your meme assets go parabolic, if you want to see Bitcoin go parabolic, if you want to see Ethereum, you want to see all these things go parabolic, you want to see us go and have this massive super cycle, you know what you got to do. You know exactly what you need to do. Get your asses up and go vote. Go vote. It's that simple. It's that simple. If you're in crypto, that's the message. If you're into everything, understand you don't have to like the orange man. You don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to like him. Vote on policies. If you don't like him, look at the administration that he's put together. RFK, Vivek, JD Vance, Elon. Bro, how many people are on Trump's team that are super smart, IQs through the roof? These are smart people. They wouldn't jump on Trump's team if they didn't see something wrong with the United States of America. Look at it. Take the next 3 days and look at everything. Look at everything and then ask yourself the question that Trump consistently asks all of us. Were you better under him during those 4 years that he was running the country? Or have we been better under the Biden and Harris administration? That's all. Ask yourself that very, very question. Ask yourself that question and find the answer. If you think, if this right now, in these last 4 years, you've enjoyed yourself, you've prospered, you know who you need to vote for. If in these last 4 years, you've been hurting because the price of goods have gone up, you feel like your speech is limited, that you have to walk on tiptoes around certain subjects, that if you're in crypto, you feel like you've been destroyed by the regulations that have been enforced, or if you want to call it that, you know who you want to vote for. You know who you want to vote for. This is not about making your parents proud, man. This is not about making your parents proud. Oh, he voted as a Democrat. No. This is not This election is different. This election should be different. This is where it doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with. What do we want to see in the United States of America? Do we want to see America prosper? Do we want to see America be great again? Or do we want to still be in this current situation where we don't fucking know who's running the motherfucking country? They told us Biden was running the country. Biden wasn't running the country. Let's keep it real with all of us. Democrats, Republicans, we all know that Biden, there ain't no way Biden was running the country. And then what happened, as Charles put it, and I've said it so many times, Charles, myself, and others, Biden was thrown out. And then again, just like Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris was thrown into play. Nobody voted for her. No primaries, no nothing. And here you go. The Party of Joy continues to talk about Adolf Hitler, which bothers me and should bother anybody else who's Jewish. Bothers me that she continues to reference him along with that entire party, that they continue to reference Nazis and accuse people of being Nazis and labeling supporters as Nazis and white supremacists. The Party of Joy isn't so joyful. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, tomorrow we'll be back at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are getting close to November 5th. Today's Halloween. Happy Halloween. I've dressed up as a successful business person on Halloween today. I'm dressed up as a successful business person. I'm just kidding. I always wear a suit. You know what? I'll go trick or treating in my suit. I'm about to get this candy. You know what I'm saying? We're about to go get this candy. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for rocking out with me. Really do appreciate it. For all those who tuned in on YouTube, LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn. Shout out to LinkedIn. Hey, I know there's been a little cursing going on out here. Yeah, I've dressed up as myself for Halloween. I can't wait to get back to talking about crypto, though. I can't wait to get back to talking about crypto, amongst other issues. But I do miss crypto. I really do miss crypto. I do. But I've had to put crypto to the side because this to me is very important. It is. It's an important subject. I have the platform and I need to talk about it. Otherwise, I'd be doing a disservice by not talking about it. And I meant what I said. I wish somebody would change my mind about Kamala Harris, but there's no change in my mind. Because she doesn't say anything. And that's bottom line. It's very hard to cover. It's hard to cover somebody that doesn't actually say anything except that Trump is bad. Well, tell me why he's bad. With proof, factual evidence that this person's bad. Anyway, I don't want to rant on. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.